How's it going? This is Millrod with my initial Brews and Reviews. It's good coffee. I just finished Mixtape. You know, I play guitar and I sing, and music is very important to my life. And I can remember, or I have so many memories of times when music changed my life, and even created friendships. And you'll have to excuse my cat if she comes up here with me for this. I remember it was the fall of 2013. I was just entering college, and I didn't really know anybody at the college that I went to. There was only a couple people from my high school that went to this college, and so it was kind of a nerve-wracking experience. I was from a small town. I didn't really know anybody where I was going to be, because the one other person that went there I really wasn't terribly close with, as far as friendships go. And so I was kind of scared. So I moved in with a roommate that I didn't know beforehand other than some Facebook interactions. I got there, I started class, did my school thing, but again, just didn't really meet anybody for probably, the first few weeks. And then I kind of met a few folks at I think it was a hockey game or something. And I happened to notice that on their Twitter account, they played guitar. And I was a singer in school. I had just come off doing this talent show at the end of my high school career. It went pretty well. I could sing. I felt like I could sing pretty well. And I saw these guys playing guitar. And so I reached out and I said, "You guys play guitar? I can sing." And they said, "Sure, why don't you come over?" And I walked the little road from my dorm to theirs. And that began a friendship that has gone on, since 2013, 13-year friendship between me and these guys, all because we shared a love of music and making music, and we had a little band, and so I owe a large part of that 13-year friendship to music. And so when I played Mixtape, and it took me about 3 hours and 45 minutes to finish it, the people that are finishing in 2.5 hours, that's pretty quick. It took me a good long time, but I think I did kind of maybe take a little bit more time walking around some of the set pieces and things. But when I play Mixtape, it reminds me of that. It reminds me of how much I love music and how much music has done for me. Because I met those gentlemen in college, I learned how to play guitar myself, and I've played shows all over the place at different venues. I've helped people celebrate weddings. I've had family events where I've played music. I've just had gigs at bars where I just meet people, or a couple stands up from their table and starts dancing to a song that I play, and then I realize it's the song that was their wedding song for their first dance, right? And so, having music as such a special part in my life led me to really enjoy Mixtape. It's a story of discovery. It's a story of understanding change and what change means. It's three very different characters. Rockford being kind of the quiet, rebellious one. Cassandra being kind of the goody two-shoe character, who wants to rebel because her parents are extremely strict. It's Slater, who just kind of goes with the flow and acts like this super chill guy, but in the background has this kind of strong voice that he wants to get out, but he just can't do it. And it's just this wonderful amalgamation of scenes from their history put to music that's chosen by Rockford. And the selections are wonderful. Not all my favorite music, but I could see each time, as somebody who appreciates music as much as I do, I could see why she was picking each song tonally, musically, lyrically, right? Let's take another sip of coffee. And it all flowed. It all worked. In fact, I need to go get the soundtrack to this game so that I can listen to it and remember these characters in the future, and remember this game in the future. Yeah, so I connected with it on a personal level because of my love for music. Also, because I am a 90s baby, I remember the cassette tapes. I remember the burning CDs. I remember all of this that they're talking about, this kind of 90s theme in this game. And so for me, from a connection perspective, if we start there, it's 100% there. And it does show, as we all know, that a moment, and I think they even say this in the game, a moment can be captured by a song. So let's talk a little bit about some other specific things with the game as we continue to drink this wonderful coffee. The gameplay is pretty sparse. I do understand when people criticize the game online right now, there is not a whole lot of gameplay. Now, there is gameplay that brings you into the moment, right? There are moments when the group are doing things together and you're participating in that as the player. So you're not doing a lot of hard game mechanics. It's probably the easiest game I've ever played. But it does put you in those moments. Like you're a part of this group that's doing these various things, right? And so, if you're looking for, if you play games for gameplay and difficulty and challenge, this doesn't have it. Okay, I'm just going to be straight flat out there. It doesn't have it. But what it does have is a story. A story, as I've just described before, of three young people growing up, learning to deal with change, understanding themselves, and learning to have a voice. I think that is really where this game shines. And if you need a Sunday afternoon, which is when I'm recording this, if you need a Sunday afternoon flick and you were going to watch a movie, play Mixtape. Okay, play Mixtape and just relax and take in how deep it is. Another thing about the story that I want to talk about is the connections between things. There are moments that are referenced in the game that come back, and you see it. There's something in one moment in the final scene I laughed out loud because it was a callback from something one of the girls had said earlier that I just thought was hilarious that you saw at the very end of the game. The other thing about the story is this writing. The quotes in this game, there were so many times when I went, oh, what a good line. Like, I just wanted to write down every single line that I heard from these characters in these certain points because they were just so deep. They were so deep, and they connected music to life. And that's what, it's just what I'm about. Okay, and I understand if you're not as much of a music geek as me, but I still think you're going to really enjoy the sentimentality and the solid writing that's here. So we talked gameplay, we've talked story. The price is reasonable. I think I paid $17.99 on Xbox for a game that took me 3 hours and 45 minutes. I think $17.99 or $20 is a good price. It's also on Game Pass, so you can play it there if you do have Xbox Game Pass. I know that price recently came down. And so I thought the story was worth it. The writing was worth it. The music was worth it because I'm assuming that those songs didn't come cheap with some of the licensing that needed to be done to use that music. So for everything that's in there, I do think that the package is there with regards to the price. And then I know there's a controversy about this game, but I would encourage you to kind of just ignore that, right? Ignore the Twitter world that tells you whether you should like or not like a game. At the end of the day, I'm a professional that works full-time. I know a lot of you are. A lot of you are students as well. We play games for enjoyment. We play games to take a break at the end of a day. And so for me, as someone who needed a break on this Sunday, and as someone who has a record collection and plays guitar and has played music and has had music literally bring me some of my best friends in the world to this day, this game, I was teared up at the end. Okay? And so I'm at about 10 minutes. We're going to try to keep these reviews about 10 minutes. But my final thoughts are, this game is touching. And while it does have its odd spots, it definitely reminds you that music is so much deeper than just some notes and some words, and that music connects people, connects us to events, to moments, and is far, far special than sometimes we give it credit for when we're just rolling down the road listening to the radio. So this is Millrod for our first Brews and Reviews. Hope you have a wonderful day.